So class, again, we saw this page. Actually, we visited this page yesterday, but today the reason I visit this page again is to emphasize the importance of the class. Yeah. So I'm not going to make some demo, yeah, or like some exercise here, but I'm briefly mention the important thing that you need to remember to create this kind of the architectural pipeline using OOP paradigms. Okay. So here, basically, we have animal class. It's like a sort of parent class, yeah. And then this again, this is the TypeScript syntax, right? So the concept gonna be same in different language, Python or Java or C# or C++. They have a similar concept, basically same concept, but a little bit different implementation and different exceptions happening. So, I mean, again, we are trying to understand the big umbrella rather than something in detail. So this is my, let's say, point, or because it's impossible to understand everything for 6 days. Anyhow, we have an animal class here, so which is parent, and then it has a move function, right? So the dog is extended from animal, right? Meaning that the function is inherent to that the class, which is like a, let's say, concrete class, which is the abstract class, which is, let's say, concrete class. So now I create some of I mean, let's say you can see the new keyword, right? So meaning that we're gonna create the instance from the class. Let's say make some object from the template, yeah. So we have a bark, move, bark. So we implemented the bark in the scope of the dog class. However, we also have the move class because the parent class has, right? It's nothing special. So also you need to make sure for the super. Super means we need, in case that you inherit some class from parent class, we need to execute first for the super. This is sort of a syntax. So this example talks about that one. And also we can define not only function, but also define some name. And then we have an animal and cat, rhino, employee. They inherit from the animal. So meaning that they occupy all the same properties. And then for the implementation side, you can override. Otherwise, you can make or append some particular function that's gonna follow particular classes. Yeah. So this is all about like inheritance. And also we have a protected value. So as I said, the class has a variable. Previously, we never typing anything in front of the variable, but in the class, there's 3, let's say, types of level of the access. One is the public, meaning that you can access whatever, I mean, in this, you can access out of this class, from the out of this class. And also we have a protected. Protected, in this case, parent class can access, but the private as the name stands for, is only private. So parent class or children class cannot access the private things. I mean, I'm not expecting you guys to understand, but just oh, there is something, yeah. So as you guys study, and then this kind of concept become important safeguard for creating the pipeline and architecture things. So I highly recommend you to go to class page here and then just type in. Yeah, and also there's a lot of good material to describe the OOP paradigm or MVC pattern and inherent things. Also, there's a very famous book like Golf Design Pattern. So there's a link. The book talks about different types of a pattern, let's say creation pattern, a structure design pattern, behavioral design pattern. I mean, this is a little bit, let's say off topic maybe, because even the computer science people, all the computer science people couldn't, understand. I mean, that one's a little bit like complicated things. So, I mean, but that concept, you don't need to follow exactly, but the concept is give us some guideline to create your structure of the pipeline. So anyhow, when it comes to talking about the design pattern, golf design pattern is one of the 101 books here. So we saw the MVC pattern. If you're interested in, please click, and then there's a lot of things. And OP, object-oriented programming link is there. Any question? Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit advanced things, but good to know actually, because I don't know if you just use some like a functional, let's say, programming, just like Grasshopper, like input and output, you don't need to understand. But in case that you need to make some sort of design, let's say, system or some iterative optimization things, or some more smart, like complicated designing ecosystem, I think they're using the without the class or OP, let's say, pattern. So I think it's almost impossible because it's too complicated. It's really hard. It's really hard to even the implementation. Also, it's really hard to maintain in terms of the debugging purpose. So here is some other example here. So I just copy paste the animal, snake, and horse things from the website as I saw you here, the class TypeScript. So just take a look at it and then tweak a little bit as you need, and then just make them break and then try to fix it. Okay, this is a really good hobby to learn programming. Sorry. And also, while I'm, preparing for this material, and then I just realized I have some other Python material that I already that I made. I don't know, last year, I guess. So this is just as an example, the Python class. So I'm briefly talk about this sort of implementation, very high level. So let's say I have a person class here, right? And person has a constructor, and then they have a name, age, energy, and number of killing people. Or is it alive? Because I'm trying to make some tournament to fight each other, and then who is the last guy, standing? Yeah. And then also we have some like a variable to track the history of the fight. And then this is the function based on the needs and print. So I create the NJ, HJ. Yeah, so so it has an energy and age, right? And then HJ kill NJ, right? And the NJ is gone by HJ. Yeah, so I'm just trying to make a small system. Yeah. And then I'm testing whether they're hit from the HJ hit by WW person here. At the end of the script here, so I create the multiple people like NJ, MJ, DJ, AJ, KJ, yeah, and then I create the one game object here, and then I play the game, yeah, and then each person in the array, they fight each other, and then as you can see, the NJ has a 100 energy, and then it goes down, yeah, this is a loser, I guess, and then AJ is winner. I'm keep fighting because it's probability, like each people has their own weight to decrease the energy against their enemy. Yeah. So all the way down, I think who is MJ is winner, I guess. So these are example of how we use the class as an example. So I just leave here so you guys can download the Jupyter notebook. So for those who have no idea about Jupyter Notebook, and then just go to Google Colab and then import Jupyter Notebook. Yeah, in case that you don't have any environment like Anaconda environment or Python environment. And then also there's other materials for the Python. Yeah, so we have the class and then some graph, and some graph or visualization. Also, we can trigger the HTML canvas that we learned on the Python environment. This is an example I think I did. Yeah. So I just share possible study material for you guys.